I want to see this.
Start the car!
Oh my god. Welcome to my
Look how much
family.
he likes his brush.
Oh.
Loves his brush. Yes! Is your brush, eh?
This is literally what he does when we wake up in the morning. He just cries. Like, no, but 3 times worse without a brush. Especially if he's hungry.
And when you brush him, oh yeah. It just comes off like crazy.
And then he wants to come in the house like every 20 fucking seconds.
Yes. Oh, he's part
Look at
dog
that
though.
face. He's so dorky.
I'm sure he's part dog.
I want to see that. Do that again.
Look how much hair comes off. Look at this. Did you film that?
Oh, that's so
This machine is amazing.
Okay, enough with episode 2. Let's get started. So, today's video, I'm talking about the recognition of my first time when I realized that emotions actually are it. That is the whole game. So when I was starting this practice of visualizing, and I used to do it because I was like, hey, I gotta visualize so I can get what I want. And so it worked, but it doesn't last. So, but you have to go through it first. So if you haven't visualized something to manifest something, you've gotta do that first. So it's basic, it's easy, you just visualize and you just feel it out. You might have to grow your belief system, because I was like, I don't believe I can have this, but I just kept pushing it. I was like, I don't care, because I was in a depressed state. I was like, life sucks anyways. I was like, I don't care about living, so I might as well just live for this one image in my mind. And that's what I did, and eventually manifested. It was like the greatest experience of my life, but it doesn't last. But it goes to show that you can have it. It's real. So if you see something, that you see somebody with a body and you're like, oh my God, like for instance, that guy has a beautiful ass, like for me, I'm gay, right? So, and I'm like, how can you even be that big and masculine and sexy and all that and be like this negative person? It makes me so mad. I was like, why don't I have that? And I'm so positive I should have that and double that because I'm positive or something, but it doesn't work that way. You're already perfect as you are. That's why I had to see, and that mindset, my mindset, was adopted from the media. That's what I saw, and I saw it was scary to change that, because I was like, if I change that, I'm lying to myself, right? That means I'm not really hot or good looking or any of that, right? Because I'm just pretending. But you have to pretend first. Hear me out. You've got to pretend first, and it feels awkward. And then you start believing it. And then when you start believing it, you will actually start projecting it. And when people start seeing it, they will actually project that back to you. And what happens is eventually, when you get good at it, where it feels comfortable, it's easy, because you practice it long enough, things actually start manifesting. Like the guy that you wanted, that's positive and not negative, right? Does that make sense? Kind of, to myself. I'll try and explain that better. So it's all about how you feel, though. So that's the best way to explain it. That's what it came down to. I'm just going to get right to the point. So it just does come back full circle to what are emotions, my video. You can watch that if you want to get some more reference on what I'm talking about. So I recognized that when I manifested this dude at the bathhouse, and he was everything I wanted, he said to me, he was like, yeah, it was a confirmation to myself. This guy was beautiful and good looking, and I would say he was better looking. Well, I don't believe that, but in general, people would say this guy was better looking than you are. You know how the media projects images and stuff. But I didn't feel that, and he didn't feel that, so that's why we attract each other. And so it was a confirmation, though, that I could have the guy that I wanted from the media, you know, like that perfect look. And so I manifested it, and it was super exciting. And he was like, you don't have to be so hard on yourself about your body and how you look, and yeah, all that stuff. And then I was like, cool, man, cool. I always stand my ground no matter what people say, even if it's positive or negative. I've always been that way, to not change. Even if people say something good about me, it's up to me to realize, to choose that. Because what happens is, if you only rely on people who give you positive things, if they say something negative, or they say something, it's gonna hit you hard because you have no balance. You're leaning on them, so you're taking their word for granted. So if someone says you're good looking, I always say, how do I feel in this moment? And I'll say, well, I don't really feel in this moment like I feel good looking. I'll be honest myself, right? And I'll hold on to that feeling. I won't take that adoption from someone and move my day and feel better. I have to find it in myself first. That's what I do. That's not easy to do, and it's actually going about the easier way, how I'm doing it, but in the long run, not in the short run. So that's a whole different topic. That's about integration. So if you want to live a life that's easy though, and fun and exciting, you don't really have to do that. You just have to follow your highest excitement to the best of your ability. But when you feel like you're cornered and you can't go any further, sometimes that's just another option. So yeah, so it was an amazing experience. It was good to amazing. It got even better at the end, and then that was it. It didn't manifest again, and then until later on, when I started getting into more of the industry that I'm in, but I that was for me, guys. For me, maybe you're super good looking right now. You're watching this. Maybe you're not. It doesn't matter. But what matters is, for me, that was like changing reality. And hear me out. I was very self-aware, and I wasn't very confident. I don't even use the word confidence now in my life right now, talking to you. I don't use that word. I don't believe in confidence. I believe in being authentic. That's the word I use now. Because when you're authentic, you're yourself, so you don't have to try, and you can feel if someone doesn't like you, you can just walk away. That's it. That's who I am now. Where I used to be, I try to be confident, and I try to impress, or I try to even just stand my ground and be strong. Yeah, it was hard, but I still felt like, wow, that's really confident. That's brave, which wasn't even. I realized that was the next stepping stone, but that's not serving me where I see from my perspective now. That no longer serves me. It serves me to just be around people who are freaking amazing and who are like me. So you get it. So that was the first confirmation that I didn't believe, but back then, that I could manifest this person. So, I mean, to an extent I did, because I grew on it, but when I started, because once it manifests, that means you're the match. You cannot match something that you're not a vibrational match to. So I did it, long story short, and it was like, yes, but it was just a confirmation that I actually moved my vibration enough to that point of being. And he said to me, the guy, I won't say his name, and he said to me, I was literally just going to walk out. He's like, I don't know why he said this to me. I had this odd feeling, which I've never had before, to just go to the bathhouse. And then when I got there, I walked in, I took a shower, I was like, why am I even here? That's what he said to me. He's like, this is so weird. I'm going home, I just wasted $30. He's like, this wasn't like myself. So, wow, I know. I don't even know if that doesn't touch you, that's fine. But for me, in that moment, on top of all of it, I was like, how is that not magic? What the universe does is it gets actually people who are a match to you to put them in your life. That was a confirmation. I got to see the other side of the person's story of how they manifested in my life. I've only ever had that experience once, because I never really, after that, I kind of figured out how the universe works, so I never really asked, how did you get here? Even like, yeah, so you get it. But, because there are other experiences where I was like, oh my God, this is happening again. But I didn't need to know how now. So when he said that, I was like, and he's like, he was like, so he's like, I don't even know how we met, but he's like, I literally just came here, and as soon as I was just about to walk out, we met. Like I walked down, it was like this perfect timing where we just hit. He said to me, yeah, I was just walking out right there. So there are no mistakes, period, after that experience. And I recognized that it felt like to me that because when he manifested, I felt like, yeah, I automatically instantly manifest him from my perspective. And before I asked him how it happened, when I saw him, I was like, I did it. As soon as I walked down, I was shaking. I was super excited inside. So I wasn't thinking like that, but I was feeling that the whole way through. I was like, I did it. I did it. I did it. I know now how this is. And then when he started talking, I didn't ask him. That's when he started saying, I don't know how, I don't know why I was here, but blah, blah, blah. And it just all came together at the end, one package, and I recognized. And it made me sad. It made me happy, but then it made me mad, and it made me confused, and it made me excited because it was like the media is like just everything, all my belief systems were just like colliding in that moment. It was like boom, boom. It was like you can have whatever you want, and it was like, why was I wasting so much time on thinking that I can't? And it just felt like it's just all this shit was hitting me. It was like, I know it's like calm down, it's one experience, but after you break through, you can't go back. So you can't say that because you can't even adopt that mindset anymore. If someone's on the other side, watch this video, they're like, just relax, dude. It's one experience. Then you haven't done what you wanted to do. If you're saying that, that means you haven't manifested what you actually went for. So maybe you want $1 million, maybe you want a car or a relationship. You haven't got that clearly, because that was it for me. That was like the one thing I needed to do to prove to myself that was about self-worth. But I had to do that first to get the self-worth, to see that, holy shit, this game's real. You can manifest something that you really have no confidence in and no belief. So I built that belief, eventually manifested, like, And so, I know this video is running on, but this is so much more important than the video at this point, that like it just feels like it's so much bigger. Like it's like a video game. Life is real and it's everything, but I'm saying it's like a video game, my conversation with you now, if you really feel into it, that you cannot take shit for granted, first of all, and you can't listen to anyone around you if that doesn't feel good. If it doesn't feel good, that person who's talking is like, you've got to see this. Well, I do now. I see this, that they're an old story. It's like this old story, like this old wheel that's just jumped into reality and it's just playing. And you can feel it as it plays. You can feel your emotions going down. You're getting more depressed. So all that in one thing, like a wheel, it jumps into reality. It's like a wheel. But if you can stand out and see it and just watch them, how they project to you and say negative things and they don't like you and they offer that energy and you watch them walk away with that energy, that's you, not him or her. That's your old story, your old energy, right? So it's an exciting thing when you recognize it and you actually feel into it, that you honestly created it. Not like half-ass, not 90% created it and 10% maybe. You honestly, you put that in. And you might be like, so how do I get rid of it? Simple, easy. Recognize it, see that's there, awareness, number one. Number two, trust how you feel. Next time you see that, you feel that, don't even talk to them, walk away. Or just be like, have a great day, or bring up a different subject to get their mind off something that's going to be more negative. You can feel if you're in tune, you can feel it, but if you're not, eventually the conversation will get big enough that you will see it's going down the wrong path. That's all emotions are. I can tune in real fast. So anyways, that's all I wanted to say. You get to live your dreams, but you've got to start small. If your dreams are big, the irony is you got to start small, because it starts with the small steps to build the castle. And that was the whole video. That it was just to show you that it's real. It's real. Everything you want is real. And I'm working every day to make it happen with my business. After this video, I go hardcore. I've already visualized in the morning. I'm already upbeat, like I always feel. Not like yesterday, I was the weather, but as much as I can, which is always, so I'm not gonna lie to myself. And so get excited, follow that excitement, and trust it. Talking to you now, like honestly, trust it, because your partner, your family, your friends have never felt the emotion that you felt before. It's impossible. You only have your own belief systems and you only have your own theme. No one can tap into how you feel. They can only project a feeling. And they can think they know what they're feeling. They can compensate. It's called sympathy, but it's not actually feeling what you feel. Because that's guidance from only the one place that matters is source, which is yours. So this whole video I'm talking about isn't even touching base on how powerful, which is even the right word, but how amazing, which is even the right word, with what you actually are, which is just, again, doesn't even come close to what I'm trying to project to you, but you're so unique that you can create a world that's so much bigger than you've seen on TV or anyone that you've read in a book or even a dream. So, and that's real, it's actually tangible, you can touch it and feel it. You just have to give yourself enough time to feel into it. Because you've given yourself enough time to feel into all the shit and negativity that people have given you, that you just practice it. You're just like, yeah, I'm not good enough. Like you're just so good at limitation. Like that's where there's so many parts of my life right now that I recognize the limitation and I'm changing it. But I used to be like that where I was, yeah, I'm just fucking garbage. I had no confidence, you know? Let's just go to high school, right there. No confidence. So I'm not that guy anymore. And I proved myself enough to know that I'm not. So that being said, I can be very quirky and really silly, but at the end of the day, I'm extremely powerful in the sense that I know who I am. And I know, that's not the right word. I know where I'm going. And I hope if you get anything from today is that you recognize that honestly, beyond this video and throughout your day, even just doing the laundry or doing the dishes, that there's a reason why you like things there's a reason why you like things and you get to actually have them. You get to have them. That's why they're there. There would be no reason for this universe to exist and for you to exist if you actually couldn't have anything you wanted. That car, that maybe you want a super good looking person, maybe you don't care about that, maybe you just want a cool feeling relationship or whatever. Or money again. Or business. And so that's real. And it's not about going after it with action and killing it to the ground. It's about believing that you can have it first. Believing that you created that foundation, that blueprint for yourself. And then when you're feeling it and you're ready, you're inspired, you're like, holy shit, I feel good. And you're like, why is my life changing? Why is nothing happening? Why I feel so good, but why is nothing manifesting? Take action. That's the time. That's the time to integrate everything you know, that moment, and push yourself. Go out there. Take every risk. Say things that you don't really say to people. Inspire them, inspire yourself, and jump. Thank you for listening, guys. And I wish you more excitement, because that accelerates the consciousness of this planet, that accelerates myself, and together we'll make miracles.